This meeting is being recorded.
Welcome to another episode of the Less is More Sports podcast. I want to take this time to congratulate Leo Messi and Argentina for winning the World Cup. We may be doing a future episode on that, but I don't want to spoil too much. As for this week's show, the one that we prepared for all week, there wasn't really a big sporting event that really had to dominate the show. But as you all know, a lot of what we do here at the Less is More Sports podcast is we talk about the social media narrative in sports. We look at what social media is talking about, and we either validate that or we don't. And we got about three pretty solid topics that we're going to talk about here today. The first one, we're going to talk about the social media presence on our own page and a debate that was going on within our own fans. And that is, who really is the best team in college basketball? As you all know, I promoted a certain team, and a lot of you all disagreed with me on that. Purdue is the current number one ranked team in the country. But Matt, who is your best team in college basketball?
It's not Purdue. I'm sorry, Purdue. I'm not. I know I'm an IU guy. I'm not trying to hate, but I don't think it's Purdue. If I had to pick somebody right now, out of all the teams, I think are, it's really hard because there isn't a clear front runner to me. But I'm gonna do something that is going to make you incredibly happy and make me look like a total sellout. But when I go through and I look at the schedules and I look at who's got some good wins, honestly, it could be Texas. I'm not kidding. They've got, and I mean, it's weird to say that given the horrible things that have come out of Austin over the past couple days regarding their weeks regarding their basketball program. But in between that are some really solid wins, and it's hard for me to deny that because I look at some of these other teams. Purdue had a huge. It wasn't a huge struggle. They struggled with Davidson last night. Virginia, I'm just going to be honest. I haven't watched a lot of Virginia games this year. I know Kihei Clarks and Armand Franklin are playing just incredibly right now.
Plus, they lost to
Alabama,
Houston. They lost to Houston yesterday.
they did. That's right. Houston's another team. I think that whoever, I will say this, I think the best team in the country is in Texas. I just don't know which one. It's either Texas, Houston, or dark horse Baylor. I really like what Baylor's been doing lately. But I feel like I'm discrediting Alabama with 2 wins over number 1 teams. I really don't know. If you put some kind of weapon to my head right now, I would probably take Texas just because of the way they've played and the tough schedule they've had. Then I would take Houston, and third for me would probably be Arizona right now. The reason why Arizona isn't that highly ranked is because they still have just an inexplicable loss to a not good Utah team. And I don't know how they did that. It was on the road, I know, but I still don't know how they lost that game. But gun to my head, I'm picking in no particular order. I'm gonna go with Texas, Houston, Arizona, oh crud, Alabama, and then Baylor is my top 5 right now. Just given by wins and who's coming. Kansas at 6 right now. They're much better than number 8 overall. I mean, they blitzed Indiana yesterday. They looked great before that. I think Kansas has a really good shot to repeat. And I mean, in our basketball preview show, we said that like the SEC and the Big 12 were the 2 deepest conferences. We had a little bit of disagreement on just how deep, but we knew those 2 conferences were the deepest. And I got to take a team from both and Houston, who's there, to prove that point home. Because I mean, right now, I'm going to take Texas. After that, I'm going to take Houston, Arizona, then give me Baylor, then give me Kansas in terms of a top 5 teams that I think right now we're going to be talking about in March as being as strong as they are right now.
So I'm going to do a couple things. As for my number 1 team in the country, I split it up into 2 categories. I got the resume, which is the one I can statistically prove, and then the eye test, the one that just impresses me the most, that is kind of like subject to bias a little bit, just, what looks the best to me, something I can't statistically prove, right?
Right.
So ironically enough, the resume one, I'm gonna disagree with you. It's UConn.
I could see that. I could see an argument for UConn.
Well, I'm about to make the argument for UConn. They're 12-0 right now. They have a 26.5 scoring margin, which is second best in college basketball. They have wins over Oregon, Alabama, Iowa State, Florida, and Oklahoma State. They got 5 guys that average double figures. 7 guys play 20-plus minutes a game, and 10 play over 15. They're 13th in scoring defense and 14th in scoring offense. But the one weakness I will say they have, though, they have no perimeter shot creators.
That's why
Adama Sanogo, he's a great post player who can step out and hit threes from occasion, and they pass the ball well. They're currently 7th in assists. But watching them, all the guys move well without the ball. They get open looks. But when in crunch time, and this is kind of what worries me, Matt, they're going to play that game down the stretch where they're going to need that one scorer to like get them a bucket. And I don't know if they have it. So
and that's you hit the nail on the head. I'm just gonna get in here real quick.
Yeah.
My biggest problem with UConn is that they're like a better Indiana. They're better than Indiana. Don't get me wrong. Sonogo is a dominant defensive guy. I think he's playing better than Trace Jackson Davis and Race Thompson right now. But they have the same basic issue, which is the fact if you shut those guys down, I don't know where the scoring comes from. That's just it for me. And I know what happens to Indiana every year because of that. So I'm hesitant I like UConn. I'm hesitant to love UConn.
Right. So resume wise, if I can talk, they look like the best. But eye test, that's where I agree with you. It's Texas, and here's why. So we all know what's going on with we don't know what's really going on with the Chris Beard situation, but we know something is going on with the Chris Beard situation. And as always, I like to say, whoever is right, I hope is proven right. So with that being said, they have key wins against Gonzaga and Creighton. And when they're playing their best, I don't think anybody looks any better. As I mentioned earlier with UConn, they don't have that perimeter scorer. Well, Texas has 2 of them, Marcus Carr and Tyrese Hunter. And defensively is where they make their calling card, because before the last 3 games, obviously around the same time that Chris Beard, had all that stuff going on, they were only allowing 55 points per game, which is good for 6th in the nation. That's where they make their calling card. They have good size in the interior. Timmy Allen, as he starts to find his footing with his role with this team. We have elite athletes like Dylan Mitchell. The only thing they're missing is a consistent perimeter shooter. But Serge Jabari Rice has shown that he's capable, who I absolutely love. I think he's the biggest X factor on the team. Brock Cunningham has had flashes, and of course, we all know Carr and Hunter can get hot at any time. So, eye test for me, it's Texas. Resume wise, it's UConn. But one team I want to talk about. Or 2 teams I want to talk about that I think will be very scary at the end of the season. And I'm not saying this because a bunch of their fans liked and retweeted one of my tweets, but I think Arkansas could be really scary by March. And I think Duke's going to be in that same category.
Well, yeah, that's the thing too. When I look at Arkansas and Duke, I'm giving rankings for right now because those teams are, especially Arkansas, are a weird mix of veteran players and a lot of freshmen. I'm not backing off on the fact I said it 112 times, I feel like, in our basketball preview show, that I think Arkansas is at least a Final Four type squad.
Right.
I think they're living up to that. Any weaknesses they have are going to be addressed. The SEC looks better than I thought it would, so that will battle test them more. And Duke, you're the Duke guy, but it's a group of freshmen. They started 5 freshmen for the first time in school history. That takes time to get chemistry, to play with one another, to learn how your other 5-star recruits also play off one another. They'll be fine. They'll work that out. And the ACC looks like total dog, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Virginia's good, but even North Carolina, what the hell happened there? They got a big win yesterday, yes, overtime, but they've fallen off quite a bit.
What's funny, because in our cap or no cap, I said it was the cappiest cap that's ever capped, that North Carolina was a 1-year wonder, but now it's looking like that might be true. That Twitter guy might have been right. I don't know.
They could be, but they got a rebound win. The win they got over Ohio State yesterday with the big guy Pete Nance, who transferred in, hitting the shot that sends it to overtime, and then out hustling that Ohio State is very scrappy, if not somewhat undersized team. So they needed to get that win to stay on track. Because if they lost that one, I was
Mhm.
going to say that North Carolina was in a giant free for all. But North Carolina and Creighton, another team who I was incredibly high on, are just like spiraling out of control right now.
I know.
And you don't want to do that, especially at this point. I mean, you can rebound going into conference play, but conference play is a whole different monster. You're on the grind during conference play. Every night you're playing teams who hate your guts against fans who hate your guts. And I mean, for a team like Arkansas and a team like Duke, that's a good thing. But for
Mhm.
a team like Creighton and a team like North Carolina, where it's already like, oh no, were we overrated? You have that self doubt, and that's where it gets nasty. So I totally agree with you there, Les. And
Mhm.
another team who I think is going to be on a huge come up very soon is ironically the team that played the second game in that Champions Classic yesterday. I really liked what I've seen out of UCLA too. That's a veteran group who's been infused with some new life in the form of some freshmen. I think once they learn to play with one another as well, they're going to be in it. They're going to be in the championship window as well. I mean, they're definitely going to be there right at the end. So I don't really know who my final four picks would be right now. I think I would go with Arkansas, Kansas, UCLA, and I'm still high on Houston. I'm going to take Houston. I think those would be my final four as of right now.
That's pretty good, solid Final Four. I mean, of course, we got a long season to go, and we're just talking about
It's
right
gonna look
now.
totally stupid in a month, but
Right. But
that's
yeah, I just wanted to, because of the debates on our social media pages, I wanted to obviously address that.
yeah.
Um,
Arkansas fans, we love you. Is the bottom line here. We love Pig Sooie. Woo Pig Sooie.
I'm not saying that on the show, but anyways.
Woo Pig Sooie. Come on, it's fun.
And no. Anyways, so that wraps up that segment of the show. So
Haters.
now we're going to talk.
Surrounded by haters, haters of pigs.
Yes. Anyways, so this one is inspired by a tweet by one of our favorite commentators, Bill Simmons.
Oh geez. Oh geez.
As you all know, that the the NBA award trophies were renamed this week.
Bill, Bill, Bill,
Bill Simmons did not care for that too much.
Bill
He
Simmons.
was like, why the explicit are we naming the NBA trophies? Who wanted this? Well, Bill, we all wanted this. This is great. Enjoy it, Boomer.
Okay. Do we just okay Boomer Bill Simmons?
We
Oh my
just okay
God.
Boomer Bill Simmons. Yes,
Oh
we
my
did.
God. This is gonna get really awkward in a minute, Les, because you know what? Bill Simmons has a point here, bud, but he's got it for the wrong reason, and that's the fact nobody flipping cares, man.
Mhm.
Nobody flipping cares who the MVP is named after as long as you have it. I'm sure that like the NFL MVP is named after somebody, but we don't care who it is. We just care who wins it. When I look at their bios, it's not going to say like one LeBron James MVP award. It's going to or one Michael Jordan MVP award. It's just going
I
to
would say
say
it's named after MJ. It's not named after LeBron.
oh, they'll change that when he retires. I'm sorry. It's not going to say one Michael Jordan MVP award. It's going to say NBA MVP, and then it's going to give me the year they won it, and then I'll look back on it fondly. Now, is there anything wrong with naming the MVP awards? Hell no. There's nothing wrong with naming any award after anybody, especially when they've earned it. And you can't tell me that the guys who they've named after these NBA trophies after aren't among like the greatest to ever play the game. I mean, the only one I think is weird is the Jerry West Clutch Award. I don't exactly
Yeah.
know how you award that or how you vote on that. You just go on to YouTube and watch like compilations of like game-winning shots, and you're like, oh, yep, yep. Devin Booker, he hit that shot more than anybody else. He gets the Clutch Award vote. That's the only one I'm not sure how you vote on. The rest of them, I'm totally fine with. Will anyone care that they're named? Probably not. Does it hurt anybody? No, it never hurts anybody to honor someone by naming something after them. You know what? Bill, come on, man. Bill, they named one after Bill Russell. Bill Russell's always has had a trophy named after him for a long time. Just let it
The
go,
finals, yeah,
buddy.
the finals MVP is named after Bill Russell. Yeah.
Let it go, Bill.
It's
Become
okay.
one. Become one with like the Boston Harbor and flow. freely through this like Massachusetts Bay. I don't know. But I don't get why you get so up in arms about that either. I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what who they name it after.
Mhm.
Because like I said, we don't remember the name of the trophy, we remember who won the trophy.
Right. So, in case you've missed the names of the trophies, the MVP trophy is named after Michael Jordan. The Defensive Player of the Year award is named after Hakeem Olajuwon. The Rookie of the Year is named after Wilt Chamberlain. The Most Improved Player is named after George Mikan. Sixth Man is named after Hondo. And of course, as Matt alluded to, the Clutch Award, which makes no sense at all because he's 1-8 career in the finals, is named after Jerry West. And if you watch Winning Time on HBO Max, Jerry West is a complete douche. But anyways,
They should have named it after Robert Horry.
but what I loved about this too is that fans on social media are absolutely freaking out because apparently the MVP trophy is named after MJ and not Kareem, despite the fact that
Yeah, that's
Kareem,
true.
but Kareem has the most. Here's the problem with that, Matt. None of the awards are named after the guy who won it the most.
Yeah, that's
None of them.
true. You know,
And rookie, okay, unless you want to say rookie of the year because you can only win the rookie of the year once, unless you're Ben Simmons, jokes included.
that was me giving you a rim shot. That was me giving you the rim shot. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm just saying. But anyways,
Yeah, you're right.
but yeah, none of these are named after the guy who won it the most times. So
No,
I think it's just homage to different guys. I don't think there was a really certain
no.
criteria for it, but I mean, I think it's just paying homage to some of the legends of the game, and I appreciate that.
The only one I don't get, other than like the Jerry West one, is why you named the Most Improved Award after George Mikan. Because I know that all my homies on NBA Twitter remember the Minneapolis Lakers like it was yesterday.
Right,
I
I do.
remember staying up late and watching the Minneapolis Lakers with Slater Martin, Vern Michelson, George Mikan, those powder blue and gold uniforms, the classic Laker look. I mean, who are we kidding? The MPLS on the front. I mean, that just brings back such good memories for me. Guys who played in the 40s, but that's such a new award. I mean, who were you going to name it after? Chuck Pearson? Uh, Manu Ginobili. I mean, so you
I
might as
feel
well
like
go.
Ginobili should have got the six-man award though, low
That's
key.
true. Can you
Because like
imagine
Ginobili, I mean, no disrespect to Hondo, but Ginobili, I mean, I guess, and maybe because I didn't watch a lot of John Havlicek games either, but
Yeah, we were
Ginobili was
kind of
one of
not
those
born.
guys, right? Ginobili was one of those guys who could start for 29 other teams in the league, but
Yeah,
because it was better for the Spurs, he alluded to taking the bench role. Why are you laughing?
I'm not laughing at you. I'm just laughing at who they could have named it after. The Lemon Pepper Lou Award for Six Man of the Year.
Booming out of South Gwinnett like Lou Will, like to quote that Drake song.
Oh my god. I mean, maybe the Jamal Crawford Award would be okay.
I feel like
Six Man
Jamal
is such a
Crawford
weird
has his
thing.
own pro-am. I think we're asking for too much here.
That's true. And I mean, it's a little bit unfair to dunk on like the six man and the most improved in the clutch because they are technically like I guess the newest forms of
Mm-hmm.
award in the NBA. So they haven't had as long and storied of a history as Depoy, MVP, rookie. These are kind of newer inventions, especially six man, which really didn't really start until like what the 90s, you would say, in terms of like being a super important position.
Or no, the '80s. I mean, you want to talk about Vinnie Johnson for the
Yeah,
bad boy
From
Pistons?
Michael Cooper, stuff, guys like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Michael
you got.
Cooper, all them.
So yeah, I mean, like I said, the basic thing here is that it doesn't matter, and you shouldn't care. You should just be
Not at
like,
all.
oh,
It's fun. It's
it's
fun.
fun.
Don't be
That's
such
all
a
it
fun
is.
sucker. Don't be a buzzkill like Buzz Killington.
Buzz Killington. Oh my
It's all
god.
Family Guy. You're
I
more of a
know.
buzz. Yes, you're more of a buzzkill than Buzz Killington.
Oh god, did you just set up a cutaway gag
Yes, I did.
on our sports show, our good holy sports show, and you set up a cutaway gag?
Let's be honest. Do we even talk about sports half the time?
No,
Half the
we
time.
don't.
Half the
This is
time
what
we like attempt to talk about sports and then we ramble on about something that nobody cares about.
but it's fun.
But it's
You know,
fun. We're having fun.
oh my god.
We're having fun, right,
Why
Bean?
did
We're
I know
having
this?
fun.
Bean's just looking at you like this show is off the rails, and I'm happy.
He's like, yes, chaos. I am the
What
emperor.
I've waited for. My whole life has come to this point of waiting. You fools will lose all your viewers, and I will get all the treats.
My daddy will not walk away for 40 minutes. He will give all the attention to me and only me. Ha ha, you puny
That's how I
humans.
will take over this planet.
Doofus will be all mine.
Oh God, poor Doofus. He won't survive that. What are we kidding? We're dooming this dog.
Oh, man. But anyways, I think that wraps up what we got to say about the NBA awards. And
We're
now,
we're not done with one thing though, Les. Do you hate Babe the Pig too, or do you just hate Arkansas?
I don't hate either Arkansas or Babe the Pig, honestly.
Then why are you not gonna Pig Sooie? Come on, man, do it for the pigs.
Pig Sooie.
Yeah, yes. I have broken Les's will. This is great. All right,
I just
now
don't
let's
like to do other schools' Mai Tai other than our own. I like to hook 'em horns, bleed blue. That's my thing, you know.
I know, but still.
Speaking of hook 'em horns, shout out to the
Yes.
Texas volleyball team for winning the national championship
That wasn't
over the
impressive.
local Louisville Cardinals. L's down.
Oh no, he's doing. You folks can't see it, but he's committing the L's down logo, which means Scott Satterfield is going to burst down that door in one last act of defiance and yell at him
Why?
like
He doesn't even coach for Louisville anymore. He dipped for the team across the river.
He yelled at Bob's or the Stoops guy that one time for doing that, so he's going to get you too.
I ain't scared of him. He ducked responsibility and went to Cincinnati. What are we talking about?
No, that's true. And they won. Congratulations to Deion Branch for winning his first bowl game.
Deion Branch has some great hair.
I know. I wish I had Deion Branch's hair. I would have like flowing roots instead of this little patch of grass growing on my head.
You and I both have bad hairlines right now. It's
yes,
bad.
we do. Speaking of evaluating quarterbacks.
This is probably going to be the juiciest topic we talk about on the show because I'm going to quote a former Longhorn because he got social media absolutely buzzing when he made a take about a certain Justin Herbert, and he said in which he called him a social media quarterback. And of course, Matt, we on this show talk about social media in sports, so it's only right that we had to talk about this particular topic. So, Matt, is Justin Herbert a social media quarterback?
All right. Before we get any further, Les, could you define social media quarterback for the people who may not be as active on Twitter?
Basically, he looks good if you watch small snippet highlights on social media, but actually put into the actual full games film worth of, film. I just had a word vomit. If you watch the full games, he doesn't impress you. But if you watch like little snippets on social media, he looks great.
Yeah. Okay. So the answer to that is no, he's not. And the reason why is because the Chargers, by all accounts, shouldn't be in the freaking playoff race at all. They are banged up beyond comprehension, like they are every year. Their coach is once again on the hot seat. By all, I don't even understand how they're in it, other than the fact the AFC is a little bit off at the bottom. There's a lot of craziness going on there, and I don't think to be a social media quarterback to me. Aren't all quarterbacks in this day and age social media quarterbacks? I don't watch it often, but the most popular thing I hear football fans talk about is red zone. All red zone is like scoring plays and people like getting touchdowns. So in this day and age, aren't all quarterbacks social media quarterbacks? We very rarely, unless it's like a popular quarterback to dunk on, like a Carson Wentz or a Matt Ryan or somebody, we very rarely see the bad. We only see the good. And we don't really get like the full stories of like what these guys are capable of, the full stories of games, the full stories of what happens with injuries, because all we get are 15-second highlights, like sound bites to politicians, or highlight reels to quarterbacks of like their best throws, their best runs, their best yada yada yada, and occasionally a really bad interception because it's funny it's fun to make fun of people who are handsomer and more athletic than we'll ever be by calling them bums on Twitter. So that's why I disagree with like the kind of the whole premise to begin with. It's like all quarterbacks are social media quarterbacks. But to be fair to the question and answer it as close as I can, no, I don't think so. I mean, like I said, the Chargers are always injury rattled. They always have a bad coach. Their home games are always like undervalued by the local fan base. And they're still always in it because just like Philip Rivers before him, Justin Herbert is apparently made of iron and can't be sat and plays through broken ribs and broken ankles and God knows what else. But because he makes some bad mistakes every once in a while, because, Mike Williams got hurt midway through the game, we look at him and we say things like this because, it's fun to have a hot take. But secondly, too, I mean, they just beat Miami for God's sake. Remember when Miami was the greatest thing on earth, and now they've lost 3 straight games? They still beat Miami. I mean, it's incredible to me that people just reduce everything down to highlights to begin with.
Miami
But
is the definition of streaky. They started the season 3-0,
Yes.
then lost like what was it, several straight, and then won several straight, and then now have lost several straight again.
Yeah, well, I mean, this losing streak they've had really isn't like it's not like they've been beaten by the Colts, trying to think, the Texans and the Jaguars. I mean, it's been San Francisco, Miami, and Buffalo.
We're not going to talk about the Colts on this podcast. Not at all. We're not doing it.
Oh, I was going to talk about that at the end, but okay. But anyway, no, I don't think that's a fair. I don't think that's a fair assessment of Justin Herbert at all. Circumstantial, especially. All quarterbacks are highlight quarterbacks. People only see like the best highlights of every quarterback whenever, except for their own team when they're critical, because nobody watches full games anymore. That's the bottom line. Nobody watches full games anymore, except in the playoffs, obviously.
I 1000% agree with Emmanuel Acho.
Oh,
I have a question for our audience. You all know who the one guy on this show is that you all love to call me a hater for, and that's Lamar Jackson. And before you say anything, Matt, no, I'm not just randomly dragging Lamar Jackson into this for no reason. But when are you all going to realize that I feel the exact same way, almost to a T, about Justin Herbert? Think about it. And before anyone wants to get super, super literal, no, I'm not saying that they play anything alike. Clearly not.
that's what I'm hearing.
Anyways,
Shame
think
on
about it. Think about it. I was not high on Lamar or Justin Herbert coming out of college. They have since proven me wrong in that department and turned out to be pretty good. However, they were prematurely donned as one of the top quarterbacks in the league or top young quarterbacks in the league. Here's the thing. Is Justin Herbert good? Yes. Does he put up numbers? Yes. Is he talented? Yes. Does he have an electric arm? Yes. Here's the problem. He has a below 500 record for his career at the time of this recording of this podcast, because watch, he's going to win his next game and then somebody's going to be like, oh, he's 500 now. No, well, at the time of this recording, he is below 500. He has, at the time of this recording, he has yet to make the playoffs, which is fine. That's fine. He's still young. He has time to turn that around. But he is deemed in the same category as guys like Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. He's good. He's not that. Joe Burrow led a team with no offensive line to the Super Bowl. As Colts fans, we know exactly how hard that is to do. Having no offensive line shortened the career of two franchise quarterbacks in our time.
All right, Philip Rivers.
Talking about Peyton Manning because of the 4 neck procedures. Who knows how long he would have played? I'm just saying. But anyways,
89-year-old Peyton Manning.
He's still more accurate than you and I will ever be. But anyways,
Letting the ball down the field.
Imagine how big his forehead would be back then if he stored, because he stores every play into that forehead. He knows.
He'd have a 10 head. The helmet would just go up into the. It'd be like Doug Dimmadome's hat.
He'd be playing for the Dimsdale Dimmadomes.
Peyton Manning Dome. Whatever the Indianapolis Colts.
Okay, getting off topic. Josh Allen has the highest passer rating in the playoffs in NFL history. Patrick Mahomes has never finished below the AFC Championship game. He has a Super Bowl MVP, and an MVP. Justin Herbert, he's a very good talent. He puts up very good numbers. He has yet to throw below 30 touchdown passes in a season, but he's not that. He's not elevating the Chargers to that level the way those three are. So, yes, if we're going to sit here and prematurely consider the Lamar Jacksons and the Justin Herberts in that type of category, yes, I have to agree. They are social media quarterbacks, because if you actually look at the production, look at the elevation, look at the win-loss result, which is ultimately what quarterbacks are judged on, he's not that. He's talented. He's not that. So, yes, I have to, and I'm not doing this because he's a Longhorn, because I have to 1,000% agree with Emmanuel Acho. And for the listeners, if you're going to give me a hard time about Lamar Jackson, keep that same energy, because I have almost the exact same feelings about Justin Herbert.
I'm just thinking, I think I may have misunderstood what we were saying, because, like, I think we agree, but I didn't intend to, like, insinuate that I thought, like, Justin Herbert was better than Patrick Mahomes. I was just saying that's why
I'm looking at social media narratives. Social media, if you go on NFL Twitter, a lot of fans will tell you that Justin Herbert is in the same category as Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, all of them, or the top young to under 30 quarterbacks in the league.
This is why I don't use, like, Twitter that often, I guess, because, like, I don't know where these takes are coming from. I mean,
that's what we do on this show, Matt. We talk about Twitter takes.
I just do what you tell me to do. I don't
Okay,
I don't read anything on my own. You kidding me? I read books.
That's true. I do. Matt is just that poor soul that I captured and tricked into doing the show with me every Sunday.
I don't know what username 7 bunch of numbers last name thinks about Patrick Mahomes. I don't care. Username 9,000,000,7 Schmaltz can, like, hate Patrick Mahomes all he wants. It doesn't change what's happened.
Oh, no, not at all. But that's what we do. We talk about the Twitter narratives and, like, what is actually real, and we talk about what actually is happening.
You see, I went to Christian school, like we've talked about. One of the things was being in the culture, but not of the culture.
Well,
I am on the Twitter, but I am not of the Twitter.
Yes, which is the perfect angle for our show. We are on the Twitter, but we are not of the Twitter.
We transcend the Twitter.
Exactly.
And when Twitter shuts down next week, God knows what we'll transcend.
It'll be more Facebook takes now.
Yes, it'll be like
Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that.
The hottest take on Facebook was my grandmother commenting on Les's profile picture, confused, wondering how to listen to the show. We asked, do old people deserve the internet?
No comment.
Les is getting ready. You can see the take formulating on Les's face right now. He's like, am I really about to go here?
I don't know. Should we go here?
No, we are not going.
That's how I should promo this show. Should old people have access to the internet?
Should we ban everyone over the age of 65? Yes, damn it. The bottom line is, I'm much like Mike Woodson here. When someone asks him in an interview, like, which player on IU has the most drip? He just looks deadpan up and says, I have no idea what the hell that means. That is me waking up every day wondering what the hell I've done to deserve to be stuck in this time period where I understand nothing. People are always like drip and swag, and I'm just like, what's happening, gents? Want to go down to the old bar for a pint?
Oh, Lord.
Oh, well, don't you oh, Lord me. I'll never forget the time I said, like, back when I was doing my other sports show with my friend John Renfro, shout out John, I said the bee's knees, and he just stopped the whole show and said, if you say that again, we're going to end the show. And I'm like, why? He's like, nobody knows what that means. And I'm like, why do people hate the bee's knees? It's a great saying. It's the cat's pajamas.
Because bees don't even have knees, and cats usually, actually, I better be careful how I say that.
I'm going to get the cat moms angry at you next.
I was going to say, yeah, that's why I stopped right then and there. The cat moms are going to be like, no, my little Fluffy wears pajamas every night.
And that's how you're going to get canceled. This is all part of my evil plan to steal the podcast from you. by getting you canceled by pet moms.
I don't even believe in cancel culture. I'm gonna be completely honest.
Oh, you've transcended that now too, have you?
I don't believe in cancel culture. I don't. I believe. I believe that things actually get like. I guess it just everything reaches a time where things just have to end, and that
Mhm.
just and cancel culture is just a way to spread outrage to get one last marketing thing to get attention right before it goes off air.
You know
That's my thing.
that's actually like a really interesting conspiracy take. I can't lie.
It is definitely a conspiracy take. Absolutely.
All right,
Like
per the
I'm
X-Files
not sitting here
thing,
telling our audience this is how it is. I'm literally like that's just my belief. I don't believe cancel culture exists. I think it's just one last PR marketing tool before it goes off the books.
that's it. We're getting the X-Files theme. I'm calling David Duchovny.
Maybe
This is
we do have a sports conspiracy
We
episode.
did do an episode, yes. We'll do
It's
another
one of
one.
our more popular episodes at that too.
Really? Huh.
The Bishop Sycamore one, yeah.
That was a great. Well, I mean, that was the old boy
Actually,
3 a.m. episode.
full podcast episodes, it's the most popular.
Hey, at least we got something right.
Right. And ironically enough, you know what our most viewed video is?
What's that?
Ellinger is the next Brady.
Oh my god. That just shows that people will fall for a clickbait headline. You are the BuzzFeed
Bro,
of
but
less is more.
is it but okay, do I not make good points on that though?
Well, you did until we actually saw it play, and it turned out Brock Purdy was the guy we were supposed to be talking about the
Yeah.
whole time.
Another Big 12 quarterback that apparently I missed the mark on.
I think I don't feel bad there. About 6 rounds of coaches and GMs also missed the mark there. So yeah, 7. I'm
He was
sorry.
he was the last pick.
He was the most irrelevant, Mr. Irrelevant.
He
Which
was
means he didn't have a
Mr.
parade at
Irrelevant.
Disneyland, but still.
Anyways.
Anyway,
Yes, we missed the mark on Brock Purdy. Because the Niners, I'm not gonna lie, the Niners are looking pretty good.
Oh my god.
I had to. I had a moment and I seized it.
That's fine. I will grant you that you had a good moment.
Oh, thank you. It also got Bean's attention too.
That might have been the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
But if it makes the human happy and he gives me belly rubs, I'll accept it.
His tiny brain must be able to comprehend something. I just imagine, I just can't help but imagine how like this season would be different if Trey Lance actually stayed healthy.
The Niners would not be as good as where they're at right now.
I no offense to Trey Lance, but I did not see, like a huge, because I mean, I think that's what got things started when he got hurt and Jimmy Garoppolo started to struggle a bit. That's when they pulled like the trigger on the McCaffrey trade and getting in some bigger names that have really paid off now.
No. That's not how that went. No, they just wanted to get another playmaker, and so McCaffrey wanted out of Carolina. But Garoppolo actually never really struggled this year. The thing is, even though Brock Purdy's looking really good right now, I will say this because we're approaching about a minute left. Jimmy Garoppolo in his 59 starts has as good, if not better, of a record as Joe Montana and Steve Young. So Jimmy Garoppolo is actually very, very underappreciated. But
much like Lamar Jackson, how much of that is being on like a really well constructed, really well run team?
True, but their record without him is really bad.
That's true.
Okay.
It's because his handsomeness distracts the other team's defense.
That's what it is. Anyways, we have less than a minute before we have to get off the show. As always, like and subscribe to the Less is More Sports YouTube and Spotify channels. Subscribe or like and follow the social media pages on Facebook and Twitter. And without further ado, Matt and I are out.
Woo Pig Sooie.
No.
Come on.
No. Woo Pig Sooie. Dang it.